Evening and welcome to Chat UTD. This is my post-match reaction to what was a complete parody of everything United have become over the last few months, really. We're in an FA Cup final, and yet it feels like it's more something to be concerned about than it is to celebrate. The first half was comfortable, professional, kept the ball pretty well, scored a really good first goal, scored just before half-time, nullified any atmosphere. You could say, well, it's a championship team, we should be able to do that. But I was thinking at half-time, you look back to games like Millwall in the cup final in 2004 when we were probably the second best team in the country at that time and Millwall were a championship club. You look back to the semi-final against Oldham in 1990, which I've referenced a couple of times recently. And that was an epic two game affair because we couldn't get past them. So you think, yeah, nice one, we're doing the job. And it all changed for me when Garnacho and Mainoo came off. Everything changed. I'd keep an eye on Garnacho. When he came off, he looked completely unimpressed. I've long since said I think he's going to go to Real Madrid at some point, but I don't blame him for being pissed off. You've got him who's probably didn't have his best game, but he's causing a bit of a problem. He's quite lively, he's dynamic, he can take people on, he can draw fouls, etc. And you've got Rashford doing absolutely nothing, and he gets brought off. I'm not going to waste too much time on Rashford, but I would have to say there is nothing that he gives us that a functional, fit League One player can't give us on the wing. I'll leave it at that in terms of him. This team has an issue, and there's no such thing as a standard win. Even when it's harder to do anything else than get a standard win. You're 3-0 up, you've done a professional job, you get to 20 minutes to go in an FA Cup semi-final against a championship team who are inferior, and you still manage to lose a lead. And to be honest, we're really, really lucky not to lose the game in general. And it goes back to the preview I did on Friday. Teams don't have to do anything special to hurt us. And it doesn't matter who those teams are. They don't have to be a Premier League team. It can be anybody. I feel like for Ten Hag, it's the end of the road. I hate to say it, and we've just got to the FA Cup final, but you can't keep making the same mistakes over and over again like we have done. And it doesn't seem to matter what the situation is in the game, who we're playing, however inferior they are, we still do the same things. It could be anybody, like I said on Friday, it could be anybody we're playing, and they'll always give us a game, and they'll always cause us problems, and they'll always exploit the weaknesses that we've got, regardless of who they are. How have we been 3-0 up against a championship team who we should be beating anyway, with the short amount of time left, and still made all the same mistakes that we've made in the Premier League recently and let them back in it? We are a parody of ourselves. I said to my mate at half time, and that was only at 2-0. I think he said something about the final, and I said, we could mess this up yet, mate. And that was at 2-0. And I was half joking. So to go 3-0 up, and you're like, right, it's game over. I can't put into words how much of a joke that is, that it went to 3-3. And it's a collective problem, it's not like I look through the individuals of that team and apart from one person, I can't say I don't dislike Wan-Bissaka. I think Maguire has never been my favourite player, but he gives everything he's got. Casemiro obviously has been a world-class player down the years. Dalot, up until probably about 3 months ago, I thought probably shouldn't play for United, but I have to say he's had a good season. But I certainly don't dislike him. Onana, I don't dislike. Again, I think probably playing the way we play, we may as well have kept De Gea for another year, but I was quite excited to get him. So I don't dislike any of them. Obviously, Mainu, you don't dislike. Don't dislike McTominay. Fernandes is probably one of my favourite players. Rasmus, young lad, trying his best. Needs a bit of time to bed in. Garnacho. So, no, I don't dislike any of those players. Eriksen, don't dislike him. Don't think he's particularly got I think he's good enough, but I don't think he's got a brilliant attitude, but I don't dislike him. And you look at today and think it's not about individual players as such. It's more just that as a collective, they're just not strong enough. They just don't have a strong underbelly. That they will grasp defeat from the jaws of victory. And they probably are a bit too casual. I mean, you look at Casemiro's penalty. Casemiro's penalty for me summed it up. It's just like people. I think the commentator said, "Oh, he tried to do the same thing that Bernardo Silva did on Wednesday against Real Madrid." What? Take a shit penalty? Is that a thing now? That was just a crap penalty. It was casual. It was lazy. It was hit straight at the goalkeeper. It's not a Panenka. It's not a. He's not trying to dink the keeper. It's just crap. So I'm not sure what they're talking about there. It speaks volumes that when Rasmus scored the winning goal from the penalty shootout, no one ran to him. I think Eriksen was pretty close by, but other than that, no one ran to him because there's no glory in that. The United end was pretty much empty about 2 or 3 minutes after the final whistle when they were embarrassingly Wembley's playing Take Me Home United Road, and it's the Coventry players with their fans, quite rightly, who were embracing each other and I suppose celebrating to some degree what was a great day for them. United was shit. And Coventry didn't play. I know that their fans will say they did fantastically well. Coventry didn't play well. They didn't do anything spectacular. They didn't dominate us in terms of like any control of the game. They didn't have any control of the game. It was just too easy to play against. I think to be fair, I think it'll be a different game in the final against City because we're underdogs, and that probably to some degree suits us because I think we'll have to be compact. We'll have to be difficult to beat. And I watched City yesterday, and I've said to you before, if you watch my videos, whenever I've watched City in the last year or so, one common theme is you can get at them, you can hurt them. If you put any decent passage of play together, you can get past them. I'm biased, I support Man United. I don't see the hype. I don't get it. I don't think they're that good. They're good at passing the ball about. They're good at controlling games. Tactically, maybe Pep Guardiola apparently is a genius. Whenever I watch them play against anyone half decent, they concede quite a lot of chances. Yesterday, if Chelsea had a finisher worth his salt, Chelsea would have been 3 or 4-0 up. That's no exaggeration. They shouldn't have been in the game. So, they're not that great at all. So, we really need to be going into that game dusting ourselves down and saying, right, we have with a cat with 9 lives today to be able to come through what we just went through then, because we were toss. We've given it to Coventry on a plate. They've that offside, the goal that they scored late on, it's a goal. If it was United, I'd say it that way round. It was a goal. It might have been a midge's dick offside, and that's it. We have got away with one there massively. So in 4 weeks, 5 weeks time, when the final comes around, no one's going to be looking at this game because we'll have played another few games and probably embarrassed ourselves further at that point. But no one's going to be asked because we're in a final against Man City and you've got to just go and try and win it. And then we're the underdogs, like I said. So it's a different kettle of fish. It's a different game, and we can hurt them, and we can get at them, and we can beat them. But today is an encapsulation, if that's even a word, or today encapsulates this team, this squad, the club. It's in a bad way. It really is. And as I said, I think one thing that's kind of been confirmed for me today, and I don't like saying this because there is no decent alternatives, and I'm doing a series of overviews of individual managers who may be in line to take over from Erik ten Hag in the next week or so. I'm going to be doing that. He's done. You can struggle, and you cannot be convincing as a manager in a kind of a transitional period like we're going through, and there's a new person calling the shots and all that kind of thing. And I understand that, but when it's the same thing happening over and over again, you just can't allow that to keep happening. And regardless of injuries, regardless of I think quite a few players that need to go, you have to get a different tune out of them. On the elephant in the room, as always, Ahmad came on. Didn't always make great decisions, but I have to say, in terms of his busyness, his energy, his ball retention, his ability to cause a problem, his low centre of gravity, everything, I thought within 10 minutes he did more than Rashford did in the whole game. But that's another story. So here we are. We're in an FA Cup final, and I think only United of this recent era could get to an FA Cup final, and in doing so remind everybody of their failings. And luckily I don't attract top Reds that watch my channel, so I'm glad about that, because that isn't the audience I want to reach. But I'm pretty sure they'll be going, what are you moaning about, we got to Wembley? If you can't watch that, if you watch that and think anything other than we're a club in dire need of severe change, then you're just deluded. You're not a good United fan, you're just deluded. It was bordering on pathetic, that 70 minutes or 71 minutes I think it was, we were still 3-0 up. Only United could conspire to do what we did today. But we're there. We're in the FA Cup final. We have a chance to win it. And hopefully that's worth something. I noticed that cretinous creature. Was it Avram or Joel? Don't know. Joel, I think. I know it's Avram, wasn't it? Was in the crowd today, next to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and it panned to him. I think it was partway through extra time, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe's looking really serious and looking like, shit, like what is this? What's going on here? Kind of thing. He looks like he has some semblance of knowledge of football. And Glazer had this gormless, stupid smile on his face. I'm saying it because as I end all my videos, Glazer's out. One of them was there today. Again, probably didn't need any security. No real vitriolic chance towards him even today. Just turn up and enjoy himself. Hate to say it, but if I've said it before, if they were the owners of Liverpool, he wouldn't have got in Wembley. Hurts to say that because I hate Liverpool, but they would, without doubt, not put up with them as owners. That said, they probably would have caused the problem trying to get into Wembley, wouldn't they, Liverpool fans, and complain about the ticketing and all that kind of stuff. It'd be someone else's fault. So So maybe that's a different, you know, maybe that's another argument. But anyway, we're there at Wembley. We take no glory from it. I take no glory from it, but we're there. Glazers out.